In Elmhurst, Illinois, Adolf Hammerschmidt of Naperville and Henry Osmond of Lombard signed a partnership agreement. Adolf Hammerschmidt was a farmer. Henry Osmond was a stonemason and contractor. As partners, they would lease the small quarry then owned by Louis Grau a mile west of Elmhurst. The company once more widened the scope of its activities in the late 40s. It entered the ready-mix concrete business. At first, the ready-mix came only from the Elmhurst plant, Barber's Corners, and the new Warrenville pit. In addition, the Royal Ready-Mix Company plant in the northwest part of Villa Park was acquired in the early 1950s. After 10 years, Adolf Hammerschmidt bought out his partner's interests and formed the Elmhurst Chicago Stone Company. The incorporators were Adolf and his three sons, William, Max, and Richard. One or another of these men headed the company during the next 48 years. In 1993, the quarry was bought by DuPage County for flood control. As the Chicago Tribune said, the increasing development of DuPage County has caused a flooding problem.
The quarry was purchased from Elmhurst, Chicago. Back in 1993, we started the conversion over. It took some time, obviously. As you've been out there, you've seen the extensive amount of work that had to be done, and it took several years to get everything set, but by 1993 it was operational and ready to go. It's mainly used for flood control purposes now.
How much water can this hold?
In engineering terms, it's 8,300 acre feet. In the terms that everybody else in the world uses, about 2.7 billion gallons. There are three ways to operate the motor. There's remote operation, which we have a computer operation in this facility, and then also at our office, and we have two other facilities where we can operate these gates from. If that fails, we can come out here and use the push button operation, which still allows for the motor to function.
Okay.
And then if the motor for some reason breaks down or we are unable to use the motor, we have a nice little crank here, and we have to crank it open by hand. Yeah, it's not very fun.
Up and down Salt Creek, we've got different flood elevations where it hits a certain level. We know we have to go in at a certain level. That's when the quarry is operated. So when we go to those gauges, when it hits a certain level, we know when it's getting close, we have people out there on hand to make sure that the quarry is open. And just as the creek elevation raises, the water will spill over into the spillway, goes through underground, gets shot down 400 feet, goes down, shoots it out. It goes under Route 83 and then comes out here into the spillway, gets shot out across. And that water flows from the spillway from the west lobe to the east lobe. East lobe, the water gets taken that way. As the east lobe fills, becomes the elevation, then the west lobe will fill on the other side. So it fills the east first, then the west. When that water comes out of the spillway, it looks like rapids coming out. I mean, it looks like something from Colorado, that you would see coming down a mountain. I mean, there's a lot of pressure, a lot of water, a tremendous amount of energy. It's a sight to see. At the last event, we had people parking up and down West Street, actually getting out of their cars and watching it as it was coming out and filling the quarry up.
After the rivers drop to a safe level and we can begin pumping water back into the river from the quarry to prepare it for the next flood event, what happens is we pump the water back into this aeration structure, and the water cascades down to re-oxygenate the water so aquatic life can live in it again, and then as it cascades down, it re-enters through a culvert at the bottom into the river.
Before the quarry was purchased, Elmhurst, Villa Park, Oak Brook Terrace had considerable flooding through the Salt Creek area. Since we have added the quarry, it considerably has stopped the flooding of houses, homes, and businesses during that. So it has saved, because of this, we've estimated it's probably about 3,000–4,000 houses that don't flood because of the quarry.
In September of 2008, we actually nearly filled the quarry, which would have been the first time that the quarry has been filled to that capacity since we implemented as a flood control storage facility in the early 90s. There was some storage left in the quarry, but it was nearly filled. Water was overtopping the concrete quarry for flood storage. We definitely helped reduce the flooding in the city of Elmhurst, and the quarry functioned exactly as designed.
Cool. Oh yeah. How many big gulps can it hold? Or super big gulps?
Super big gulps, we say 5.4 billion super big gulps would go into the quarry when it was filled to capacity.